Hi, thank you for tuning in. I am Melinda Schmidt, intuitive healer, and you may hear a little bit of noise in the background. I've got some kids downstairs and they can get a little feisty. I wanted to talk with you today about the web of life. This is something that I was thinking about on one of my runs. I have heavy thoughts on my runs, and it just made sense to me. And so I wanted to share it with you today in the hopes that it may help make sense for you too when we're being guided in directions that don't seem to make too much sense or that we are a little bit resistant to. Between my own intuitive healing sessions for myself and for my own clients, this idea of like a sticky web keeps coming up. And so I was kind of playing around with that thought, and what I kind of came to understand is that our life, like who we are, is like the spider at the center of the web. This web is one of those 3D webs. You know, the spiders that create the big elaborate webs. Well, that's kind of like what's happening all around us, right? So we are the creators of the web that we are in, right? But in the life that we're living right now, we have a ton of other people all around us that we interact with on a daily basis that have their own webs. In reality, we're all one, so it's all one big web. We are simply the creator of our own individual little section of the web, but it's all connected. And so the way that I interpret that is that as long as we are aligned with our truth, with who we are, with the way that we're being guided in this life, then the web is like cool. It's just, you know, pretty and it flows and there's no tugs. It's just, it just all works, right? So imagine now that when we get out of alignment with who we truly are, we're kind of pulling on that web. So the web is like here and we're kind of like pulling on it. Well, that pulling creates a resistance. That resistance creates the pain that we feel that lets us know, hey, something's happening, that you're not in alignment with where you need to be, with who you are. Whether it's that you think that you're such a workaholic because that's what gives you that sense of worthiness, and so you're working and working and working, when in reality you're being in alignment with your high self, with your truth, says you don't have to work that hard to be worthy. You already are worthy. So if you could ever get to that point where you go, all right, let me listen to that and have faith in that, then you stop pulling and then you come back to the center. And then your web is content again. It's settled. Now, there are times also when the people around you, if they are not in alignment with you, all of a sudden, if they go out of alignment with themselves, or if you and them are not in alignment, then there's another tug and there's another pain. And all of these things, all of these tugs and all of these pains are just a way for the universe to show you that you kind of drifted off your path a little bit. So it's time to autocorrect. When you feel a massive pain, or you get fired from your job, and you weren't expecting that, you weren't prepared for that, it's a big pain to you. Well, that could be the universe's way of saying, hey, I've been trying to show you all along that it was time to leave that job, but you didn't listen, so we had to take the measures so that we could snap you back. Right? I hope that makes sense. All of this makes sense in my head. I hope it's making sense for you as well. And so what we are being asked is to just always remain in alignment with who we are. That means speak your truth, stay in integrity with who you are, connect with yourself on a daily basis, all day long, making sure, does anything feel out of alignment? Do I feel any of these tugs? Do I feel any of that pain? that says, hey, you're not in alignment. And I'm not talking about pain from losing a loved one that's like grief. I'm talking about the pain that tells you in your gut or in your heart, like something is not right. They feel very different. And if you're not familiar with how they feel different for you, please connect with me and I'll be happy to work with you on making sure that you can identify between the two different types of pain. But I think that for many of us, we can already establish the difference between the two different types of pain. So the pain I'm talking about is the pain you feel when something just doesn't feel right in your life. Now back to the spider web. So ideally, in an ideal world, we are all in alignment with ourselves and we are all creating our own webs that are all in alignment with each other. And so the oneness that we all feel, it just works. It's in harmony. It's peace. It's bliss. The world we live in right now, though, is with a ton of people out of alignment, and that's why we feel so much of this pain and so much of this disharmony, because we're constantly being tugged in all these different directions. So there is nothing you can do about any of the people around you. There's nothing you can do about the politics. There is nothing that you can do about that guy that just cut you off on the road. There's nothing you can even do, believe it or not, about your children or your spouse or anyone close to you. There is nothing you can do about them. The only thing you can do anything about is yourself. So just keep coming back to center. Keep coming back to your own heart, your own breath. You can check out my previous video that talks about reading yourself and accessing your intuition. That will guide you right back to being in alignment with yourself so that you're sitting on your web that is at peace. And that way, even if somebody else around you is kind of tugging on it, it is not going to feel anywhere near as painful as if you are already out of alignment for yourself. And just you being in alignment and you being at peace and you having that web that's like in contentment is going to help pull them back into that peace as well. It all starts with you. Let me know what you think. Let me know if any of that made sense. And if you feel this will help anyone else at all, please go ahead and share my videos. Thank you, and I'll see you next time.